Honestly, if you have to ask this question and you're a fully grown adult, especially if you're of the age of like 25 plus, I feel like you're probably either naive or have at least some level of ignorance, to say the least. And I'm not saying this in a bad way. I'm not saying that, you are stupid or you are daft or anything. It's just probably you're not particularly keen. But anyways, let me get into the meat of this entire thing by starting with the intro. Welcome to Breaktime on West Side, your number one breaktime podcast, coming to you from Nairobi, Kenya. The man on the mic is Sir Denver B. The show is Raw Zone, and I have a bunch of shit I need us to talk about. Well, one, to be more particular, and I guess after listening to what I've just said and, reading the topic, you probably already know, and I'm just hoping that you can lend me your ears up until the end of this episode. It's probably gonna be 12 minutes or less, so, I intend on keeping this short and sweet. Now, there was a clip that I saw on IG about a bit of a while back, which sort of did kind of stun me for a little bit. And it goes back to this one question that people have asked and debated, and they've said yes, they've said no. It's not like there's really a concrete answer to the whole can men and women actually be friends. But with the way this clip was played, I did kind of have to think about it again, and I did sort of end up asking myself again if men and women can be friends. So let me just play the clip for you real quick, then I can get into this entire thing, because I feel like I might have a very different outlook on it after this. So here it is.
So if I have a male friend and he like me and I'm sitting here and I'm oblivious to it and I'm complaining about how my man don't treat me right, how he cheating on me and stuff like that, being that he already fuck with me at a certain level, it kind of make him fall for you in a certain way. Like, damn, I wouldn't do that. You such a good person. Why he doing you like that? And they get caught up in knowing that you a good person and like, damn, like, if this was me, I would do you better. And sometimes they really don't do you better. They be doing you just as dirty as that other motherfucker. So you gotta be careful with who you telling, because some people, like I said, that save a whole shit. Like if you ever read the book, The Art of Seduction, it's different types of manipulations, and that's one of them. It's people that prey on people that are willing to help or have a kind heart. They prey on people like that to get what they want. And then there's some people that fall.
All right. Okay. So the art of seduction and manipulating the people that are kind and that are nice to you. Like, I don't know. Which one is that for? Because it sort of sounds like Shorty was trying to refer to the babe being manipulated. And yet, in my perspective, I'm seeing it as though it's the guy that's being manipulated. Like, this whole manipulation thing that she brought with the art of seduction seemed a little bit confusing to a degree, because I don't really know who the hell the victim is here. Because the babe can be like, oh, I've always been nice to you and shit. But dude can also say, I was nice enough to listen to all of your bullshit. Like, here's the thing. I wouldn't really try and dwell too much on that, because I feel like that'll just end up confusing me for nothing. But what I will look into is this whole thing that she started with, which was a story about her going to open up about her breakup and how her now ex is shit to another dude. Now, here's the thing. I don't know, maybe it's just me that feels this way, but I guess maybe the babes can tell me if I'm right or wrong. By the time you're going to another guy to talk about how you've broken up with this other guy and you're a babe, like, let's be particularly honest about something. You either know that this guy wants to smash and you are going to get smashed, or you know that this guy wants to smash. You're not gonna let him get the goods, but you still want to feel desired and you want him to pander around to you. So you're pretty much going there so he can tell you that whatever the guy did was shit. Like, let's just be honest about that, because this guy is actively listening to your bullshit because he's waiting for his opportunity. He's looking for a chance to lay some pipe, and you're pretty much dangling it to his face so that he can give you whatever attention it is that you want. Because here's the thing. It's not like us guys don't like to listen or we won't listen to a babe. It's just that a lot of the shit that you guys might talk about, we probably aren't all that interested in listening to it. So not unless if you're a particularly close friend of mine and I see you in sort of like a sibling manner, there's a pretty good chance that the close guy that you consider close enough to go and tell your relationship shit, knowing very well that guys are very shit when it comes to opening up about things, is probably close to you because he's looking to smash. And it is part of the reason why a lot of attractive women do actually want to have a gay male best friend, because those guys are particularly harmless to them, because it's not like they're trying to get pussy from them, and it's not like they're trying to get the same dick that they're also trying to get. Like, there's zero competition. You know that your friendship is most likely going to be like at least 80% platonic, and there's no added benefits that they're trying to get from you at your expense, so you're pretty good. But anyways, all of that aside, back to the original question at hand. Now, considering whatever it is I was just said, considering the fact that I said that if you have a dude friend that's super close to you, there's a pretty good chance that he wants to smash, and you probably already know it as a babe. So this whole, oh, I'm oblivious to him liking me is probably BS. Can men and women actually be friends? Now, the shortest, most summarized answer that I can give you is yes. Yes, they can be. Now, the slightly longer version of this is yes, they can be, but it depends on a certain number of things. Now, the longest one, which is pretty much most of this entire episode, is that yes, and it's been happening all the damn time to a bunch of us. The only issue is some of us actually don't think it's possible. And the thing that I usually find particularly corny about this entire thing is the people that believe that men and women can never be friends, when they're trying to prove it, they usually use an example that seems particularly simple but is highly, highly flawed. Like, there's usually this whole thing, and people have done it a bunch of times online, where they're like, oh, call up your best friend, call up your male friend, and tell them that you want to bang. And, ask them if they're down. And we assure you 99% of them, hell, maybe even 100% of them will say yes. Of which, that is probably true, but the test itself is actually quite false in what it's trying to prove, because you're pretty much just trying to prove if your niggas would smash given the opportunity. It doesn't really prove if they're friends or not, because the way I look at it is you're pretty much giving guys the one thing that they mostly want from babes, which is sex. Like, that is the one key that we're almost always trying to get. And you're expecting him to turn it down because he's quote-unquote your friend, which is a particularly shit thing, because it's kind of like offering a free reward in exchange for something that is more long-term, and expecting someone who believes that they can have both the quick reward and the long-term, both, and be perfectly okay to actually turn down the quick reward. Like, that is a shit test, to say the least. And to kind of make things actually a little bit more elaborate, let me flip the script on everyone, And I won't use sex. Sex is the thing that guys like. That's the key that we're trying to get from the babes. I'm going to use relationships. So imagine you as a dude, you hit up your female friend or friends, and you're like, hey, what's up? Have you been? Is your day good? I hope things are good at work. You send them cash, or you send her cash, and you're like, you know what, get yourself some lunch because I missed you and I care about you and shit. And you make sure you text them the entire day. The moment they're done, if there's something happening that evening, like a gala event or some shit, you tell her to go home, dress up, you're picking her up. You pick her up, you have a suit, you have a bunch of flowers with her, you go with her, you all go looking good and everything. And if you guys have to buy drinks, if you guys have to pay for shit, you're covering everything. You do that, you take her home, and you do that regularly. And when she hits you up and she's having period cramps and everything, you make sure you send her that care package, you go and you cuddle with her. But the caveat to all of this is you do not ask for sex, you do not offer up any actual commitment. You're just doing all of this shit because you care for her as a friend. Now, hit up any one of your female friends, offer that kind of package, and wait for them to say no because you're my friend. Like, that in and of itself is bullshit. That won't happen, because at the very least, they know very well they can take all of that shit from you and still refer to you as their friend. It's not like they're gonna be like, you know what, I think I just have to be your girlfriend because you can't be giving me all of this treatment for nothing. Like, shorties will gobble all of this shit up. So you think when you offer a guy sex, even though he hasn't been particularly interested in you, considering that most guys rarely ever get any, you honestly think this guy is gonna look at you and be like, you know what, I care about you, but I care about our friendship more. Let me turn that shit down. Nah. Dude is gonna say, you know what, tell me when and where. And they're gonna make sure they make it at that time on time. And they're gonna lay that pipe. And probably about 3, 4, 5 times out of 10, they're probably gonna be like, you know what, we're still gonna be friends after this. Or maybe if this guy's always had feelings for you, that's when he's gonna profess his feelings for you or some shit. But either way, the fact that you let him lay pipe, the guy's gonna take it. So, to be very honest, that's a very shit test. Because it offers an overcomplicated way of saying that men want pipe. And yet, the reality of it is, it's not like us guys look at babes and we automatically think, I'd lay pipe or I wouldn't. That's not a determinant of what makes good friendships. Like, if you believe that men and women can't be friends because a guy will always want to smash, then you're probably of the oversimplified view that men look at women as nothing more than sexual objects, or at least we never look at a babe in any other way besides would I or wouldn't I smash. Which, I don't know about you, whether you're a guy or a babe, but I do not believe that. I do not think that way. I can look at a woman, find her quite fuckable, and actually look beyond my desire to fuck her to actually do something else and something that I might find to be a little bit more productive, whether it's just for me or for the both of us. But at the end of the day, thinking that all guys just want to do is smash, I think, especially coming from dudes, like, I don't know whether to say that you're underestimating yourself or you're insulting yourself. But either way, I'd like to think that I'm a little bit more than just, the desire to fuck other people. Which is why I think if you have to ask this question and you're over the age of 23, then you're probably a little bit naive or you're probably quite a bit ignorant. Although, then again, I might be wrong about this shit, so I want your thoughts on it. The DMs are open on IG, on Facebook, it is at Breaktime, on my side, on Twitter. It is at Bagaka the D. Thank you so much for listening all the way till the end, and I will catch you guys on the next break.